What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about my most anticipated games of 2024. There's a ton coming out next year. Some of them are dated, some of them are not, which of course you always have to be aware of delays and stuff. But that said, these are all games that have at least tentatively been announced for 2024, and they're ones I'm just super looking forward to. So I'm going to start the first half with the ones that are dated, and we'll just go in order of when they release. And then after that, I'll do the ones that have said they're coming 2024. Of course, as everything, it's suspect to change, right? But make sure you let me know what you're excited for next year so we can kind of compare and see which ones come out on top. All right? Coming up first, the first game, there's one in January for me. Now, there might be more coming, and maybe you guys know some that I've forgotten, but there's one in January that I'm looking forward to. There's 3 in February, 3 in March, there's at least 2 in April right now. Like, the beginning of next year is ridiculous. Thankfully for us, some of it's coming to Game Pass. That could help a lot with that old wallet book. I mean, man, it's crazy. It's too much good stuff. If you know your movies, you might know that quote, but whatever. Anyway, so let's start right away in January. Now, this is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and it's coming to all major platforms, I believe. It's on the 18th of January. This is kind of that side-scrolling action RPG. It's like a Metroidvania. At least that's what I get. It's possible that it's just going to be an action platformer, but the truth is most games these days have at least some RPG elements into them just because they make the game more immersive and more fun. So it might not be like a full RPG, but I bet it's going to at least have some RPG stuff in there. But it looks really cool. The graphics look incredible. The movement looks awesome. So I'm pretty stoked for that. I think that looks really awesome. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, January 18th. All right, next is February, and February is ridiculous. Right away on the 1st is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. If you've been following this channel at all, you know that I've been stoked for that for a long time. If you followed this game at all, this one has had a crazy development, right? So this is Side Games IP, but then they brought on Platinum Games, who's known for incredible combat. And then after a little while, they said, oh, you know what? That's not working out. And so then Platinum Games was removed from the project. And there's a lot behind that we don't necessarily know. But Side Games took it back over. And I think it maybe was a little bit bigger than they were expecting, or took more time than they were expecting, because they kept giving like release windows and pushback. Oh, pushback again. Oh, pushback. We thought first 2021 or 2022, and then it got pushed from that. And then 2023 was like the year, it'll be this year. And we kept waiting for a release date. Nothing, just the year. And then finally they said, no, it's gonna come out in 2024. Like, oh man, okay. And then sure enough, then they finally gave us the actual release date, and it's February 1st. And I am so excited. I think this one's really concrete. I don't think they're moving this. I don't think it's getting delayed again. 7 is enough, I guess, right? But man, the huge anime action RPG with loads of cool characters and a story to go through, a multiplayer mode. There's so much to this game. It looks awesome. I'm so excited for it. That said, the very next day, on February 2nd, is Persona 3 Reload. Now, this is the brand new remake in, you know, the newer style, more similar to Persona 5 from Persona 3, which if you go looking at the old versions of Persona 4 and Persona 3, you know, they're a little funky now. I mean, it's been a long time. The art style has upgraded, the tech has upgraded, and so they can make them look much better. They also can upgrade the mechanics, right? There's some stuff in those games that I think need some quality of life improvements, right? The confidants needed to have more to them, and the combat can be snappier and quicker and more responsive, and the dungeons and stuff could have some more intricacy to them. And so that's all the kind of stuff they're saying in this remake here. Persona 3 Reload looks incredible. The style is on point once again. Atlus never disappoints with that. Can't be more excited for this. I love Persona. I love Persona 5, and I have really good memories of Persona 3, but it's been so long that I don't remember a ton of it, just bits and pieces. I just love the series, so I'm super excited for that. Also, this one comes out on Game Pass. Now, I really would like to own this one, but I don't know that I'm going to be buying 3 games a month. Like, that's crazy. So I might end up, playing on Game Pass and picking it up later. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm very excited for this. Persona 3 Reload on February 2nd. It's going to be great. And if you haven't had enough JRPG goodness in the beginning of the month, then at the end of the month on February 29th is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Whew. How are we gonna have enough time to play these games, guys? Like, this is insane. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is obviously the next in the remake trilogy. I personally love remake. I know that's, maybe a little bit of a debate whether you enjoyed it or not, and that, obviously if your opinion is yours and totally fine, you can have that. I loved it. I loved seeing the characters in the new art style and realized like that. I loved the characters. I loved the small changes they made. I found that interesting. Everything except for the ghosts, which as a story part I didn't mind. Just that train part was annoying, but really loved it. So I'm incredibly excited for this one, and this is gonna be like semi-open world. It has a golden saucer. It has all the different towns and places to go and story movements, and it's gonna be so good. I cannot wait. It's gonna be awesome. And here's the thing, right? These games are all huge. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, they say 20-hour campaign, 100-hour completion. Persona 3 Reload is probably 60 to 100 hours, depending on how you play. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, probably like 50, 60 hours. And then you come into March, and we have right away on the 8th, Unicorn Overlord. Now this is that new Vanillaware game, and it looks incredible. I love the Vanillaware art style, and I don't really understand this game. I've heard some people saying like old Ogre Battle, and it does look like it has some bit of that. It got a little bit of Fire Emblem in there. You have like your main characters, and then like you can kind of build like little squads. They just said the other day like there's like a marriage system, and I don't really know what that means, if there's what you gain from that, but it's got to be something. There's so deep character development, battles, very strategic. Art style is ridiculous. I mean, their stories tend to be very emotionally charged, which I enjoy. I think there's a lot to them. And yeah, just the depth that they typically put in their games already has me just ridiculously excited for it. And what is that? It's barely a week later than Final Fantasy VII. It's ridiculous. I don't have time or money to do all of this, but we're gonna figure it out. So yeah, Unicorn Overlord comes out on the 8th. Now, I think I forgot to mention, right? Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is on PlayStation 4, 5, and PC. There's no Xbox release for that. Persona 3 Reload is on all major consoles bar the Switch. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a PS5 exclusive, at least for now. Unicorn Overlord is coming out on everything. So, so that's where we're at so far. Next up, we have Dragon's Dogma 2, which comes out on March 22nd. 2 weeks after Unicorn Overlord. This is insane, guys. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks incredible. I loved the first game. I've talked about it on this channel. Dragon's Dogma is an incredible game and absolutely worth your time even now. The second just looks like the first, but way better. Graphics are better. The movements are better. The story looks more in depth. Like, they've thought through a lot of this stuff. They have new races, new areas, new abilities. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out on everything except for the Switch. And this is a big old Capcom medieval fantasy RPG. Just so you're aware, in case you haven't played the first one, it's more challenging than you think it would be. Okay, the first one definitely has moments of being incredibly difficult and almost frustratingly so if you haven't kind of learned the systems. So don't jump into this thinking this is Skyrim where you can just kind of push your way around and nothing pushes back. Not that Skyrim's always like that, but it can be like that. Dragon's Dogma 2 is not going to be like that. So just be aware going in, okay? I find that really fun. I make that it's more engaging, I think. But if that's something that you struggle with, I don't remember there being any, difficulty settings. So just know that going in. But Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be great, and I cannot wait to play it. Now, on the same day as that, it's ridiculous, is Rise of the Ronin. Now, this is a PS5 exclusive, okay, so that narrows the pool a little bit. But this is that, samurai, the end of the shogunate period, right? So the samurai are starting to fall out of power, and, new colonization and stuff is popping up, guns and different technology, and the samurai still have use and still have skills that they can pass on, but they're struggling with that change. Now, it looks like your character is starting, almost like Ghost of Tsushima, is kind of starting to embrace some of that, because they have scenes with him with a gun, right? You get glider and different weapons. It looks almost like Neo-esque, which makes sense. It's by that same team. And yeah, I mean, I'm really, really excited for this one. I think it's going to be great. These guys have really kind of figured out their RPG style. It looks incredible. The graphics look great, and their combat tends to be really fast and fluid. And so I think there's a lot to like here. I think it's going to be a top-notch RPG next year. Now, the year's already looking stacked, so where it'll line up, it's too hard to know. It's a new IP. We know very little about it, so we'll just have to wait and see, but I am excited to play it. I think that looks good. All right, next up is Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Now, this game is that kind of Suikoden spiritual successor, and it's coming out on everything. This game just got a new drop trailer, so I got that in there, and make sure you're looking at that if you're interested. But there is so much to this game. Tons of characters, obviously the 100 heroes, the stories, the intrigue, the plots, all the different things. The combat looks great. They talked about as you get new characters, your base will build up, and then you get more mini games. Looks just absolutely incredible. I'm so excited for this. It's gorgeous visuals. I love that kind of pixel art characters with the 3D background. It just looks awesome. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. Now I've been calling it Ayuden Chronicles, and apparently it's Ayuden, that EI, that A sound. I'll try. I don't know if I'm gonna get that, but either way, this game looks just so gorgeous. I cannot wait for it. And look, this comes out April 23rd, so it gives you a month from Dragon's Dogma 2 or Rise of the Ronin or whatever you were playing. That's nice. Give us a break, a little, a month. So if you only play games, you'll be just fine. But if you're working a full-time job and have family and stuff like that, it might be tough. You're busy. Like me. All right. And the same day as Ayuden Chronicle is Tales of Kinzera Zal. Now, I had no idea what this was, didn't know anything about it until the Game Awards. Tales of Kinzera is by Surgent Studios, and I knew nothing until Abu Bakr Salim, who did his presentation at the Game Awards, and he talked about his dad and how they played games together and how much it meant to him, and so he is putting his time in this game. And I first was moved by his speech, but then watching the game, it actually looks incredible, and that matters, right? Because you can't just be moved by the story. If the game sucks, that's not going to be enough. But it looks like an awesome action platformer, made Metroidvania style, but the colors really pop, and it's fast and fluid, and I think it looks great. I think there's some real opportunity here. Yeah, I'm really hoping for him that it's good. You know what I mean? When someone gives that kind of a passionate speech and you connect with that person, you hope that what they give is good, so that you can just praise it and not be like, yeah, you were good, but your game not. So we'll see what happens, but from what they've shown, I think it looks incredible. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Of course, that comes out the same day as Ayuden Chronicle, and it comes out on everything. So that'll be good. That's the end of the dated section. So what about stuff that's not dated? So there's a bunch. So I just took, what I'm most looking forward to. But right away, I'm going to talk about Crimson Desert. I've talked about this a lot on this channel. I'm just going to keep talking about it until it comes out because I'm so incredibly excited for it. This is Dragon's Dogma 2 and Witcher and Skyrim and Legend of Zelda and all this stuff kind of mashed in, and it just, if they can actually deliver what they're promising, it's going to be ridiculous. The combat looks awesome. Your character looks cool. The different combos and moves you can do, gliding and horseback riding and flying and jumping and freaking climbing, all kinds of stuff. Just looks crazy. And yeah, man, I'm so excited for Crimson Desert. So they say 2024. I'm hoping it's 2024. It looks good, and yeah, we'll just keep an eye out for it. After that is Metaphor Re-Fantasio. Now, this is another Atlas game. This is that Re-Fantasy that we've known about for a long time, and then finally it gets announced, and it's Metaphor. It's Persona, but with medieval characters, and it's hard to tell. I don't know. Hopefully, you're not fighting the same demons as you do in all those other ones. It looks like you have like some people and that whole kind of thing. But political intrigue and the story about kings and who's going to be king. And dude, I mean, their art style, as we talked about with Persona 3, is ridiculous. It looks incredible. Their combat system is snappy and engaging, and I'm super excited for it. Menus look awesome. Their characters look ridiculously good. So, I mean, their music is always amazing. I mean, there's just so much to look forward to. And the idea of like Persona, but in medieval fantasy style, I mean, that's exactly what I want. So, I don't know that I could be more excited for it. Keep an eye out on that one. I think it's going to be incredible. Next up is Visions of Mana. Now, this was just announced at the Game Awards, and I love the Mana series. I know it tends to be a little more childlike. It tends to be, only okay. Like they're not top-notch RPGs usually, but I have a review for Trials of Mana, the remake, and I thought that was pretty good. I think the Secret of Mana remake was okay. Not as bad as people say, but not amazing either. I loved the original though. And so this one, I mean, the new Age of Mana, I think the characters look good. I think some of those old bosses that we know in new detail and stuff they look cool. And yeah, I think there's some real opportunity here. So I'm pretty excited for that. I'm hoping that Visions of Mana can really deliver, because I would love to see Mana kind of bring itself into a more prominent stage of its life. So yeah, Visions of Mana looks cool. Okay, this next one you might not have heard about. And this is Dusk Tactics. This is a solo developer, I believe. I follow on Twitter, so make sure you give them a follow. Okay, and they have a YouTube, so give them a follow there. But they're making a strategy RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics. This person, if you are on Twitter at all, I highly recommend giving them a follow, because they constantly are posting little things that they're doing, and it has me so excited. I love Final Fantasy Tactics, and watching this person do their game and show the little bits at a time. I mean, I just think it looks absolutely incredible, and I'm really, really, really excited to play this whenever it gets released. I don't know that this is gonna come out in 2024. I don't know. They haven't actually even said that, and I'll bet they would be worried that I have it in here, because so I just wanted to give them a shout out here. I think they are doing an amazing job, and more people should know. So I'm bringing it out to you guys. So keep an eye out on Dusk Tactics. All right, next up, Borderlines on this. Right, this is an MMORPG, and I don't do a lot of those. I haven't played MMOs in a long time, but Blue Protocol, with its anime style and the combat and the different classes, kind of has my attention. So I don't know that I'm going to be hopping into this one super in depth, but I might. And Blue Protocol looks incredible. I love the character design, and in these kind of MMO stuff, you get to make your own, and so I love that idea. The different classes that you could pick from look fun. The combat looks fun. It is an MMO. When I talked about this very first, almost a year ago now, I thought it was supposed to be a little different. That's the way they described it, but it ends up not being that. It is an MMO where you're in just smaller servers of like 200 people, and then so we'll see. MMOs are their own thing, but Blue Protocol has an incredible art style, and everything I've seen from it looks good. So it's free to play too, right? So worth a shot. All right, next up is Pal World. Now, this kind of surprises me that it's even on this list, but it's like an adult version of Pokemon, right? Where like you're using guns and stuff to attack the monsters, and then you can capture them, and then you can like use them almost like a sweatshop and like put them to work on factories and stuff in your base. It's kind of a ridiculous concept, but it's fun. And you know, for if you're like me at all, I grew up on Pokemon, right? I played the first ones on the original Game Boy, where me and my brother were trading, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I have really fond memories of that, but the new Pokemon just don't do it for me. And so this kind of bringing new life into that genre, I think has some real opportunity. Now, it could suck, it could be too weird, but I think that there's some real promise here, and having new ideas in that kind of game, I think could be really fun. So I don't know a ton about it, to be honest. It might end up being a total bomb and nobody cares, but from what I've seen, it looks fun, and so it's on the list. All right, now this game came out in Japan already, but I love this series, and that's Ys 10. The Ys series is incredible. I loved 8, I loved 9. I haven't played a lot of the older ones. I don't know that I'll go back. There's so much to play, but Ys 10 Nordics looks incredible. It has like the 2 protagonists, so it's a little bit different. It's a duo instead of always having your trio of characters like you have in the last 2. But I'm sure the movement will be good. They tend to be super fast and flashy and fluid, and the combat is, you know, frenetic almost, and I love them. I love them, I love them, I love them. And so I can't wait to play Ys 10. I love the other ones I've played, and yeah, I mean, Falcom really kind of has this one figured out, I think, right? They're very good, they're enjoyable to play, there's good story, I think. It's not the best story, but it's good story, and combat is top notch. So, Ys 10 already came out in, I don't know, what was it, September or something in Japan? So I don't think it'll be too long, maybe this summer in 2024, but yeah, it's gonna be good. Next up is Lost Soul Aside. This game we've talked about on this channel a lot. It looks incredible, right? It started as a solo developer, then Sony kind of picked them up. Now they're Ulti Zero Games or something like that. Ulti Zero Studios, whatever. Anyway, now they got a team. It's looking incredible. Every time they show something, it just looks ridiculous. And I believe, from everything I've heard, that 2024 is the year. I think they were targeting early, but my guess, because they haven't announced a release date, that they might push it into maybe summer, like June, July. There's just so much early in the year. I could be wrong about that, but that's just kind of the feeling I get. So Lost Soul Aside is an incredible looking action RPG with a bit of Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy in there. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like the motion in this game, some of those magic and movement in it, just, I mean, it's out of this world. Just looks so incredible, and I'm really, really excited for that. So keep an eye out on that one. I think that one's gonna blow some people away. All right, coming up next is Avowed. Now this is that Obsidian version of Skyrim, kind of, right? And it looks a little more cartoony. I think that's fine. I wouldn't mind if it was a little more realistic, but you know what? Whatever, have their own art style. I love their writing, I love their stories and their plots and their character development, so I have high hopes for Avowed. Not to mention it's Xbox exclusive, so it'll be Game Pass, and I mean, that could really give some really cool moments, I think, if they have given enough room for you to explore and do different things, but tightened it up a little so it's not just a bunch of open space. I think there's some real opportunity for some really incredible gameplay moments in that, and yeah, Avowed looks really cool. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun time, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, and last on my list, another one you possibly haven't heard of is Honor of Kings World. Now, this is from a Chinese studio. Honor of Kings is a mobile game typically, but it's blown up, very similar to Grand Blue Fantasy, where it's one of the most popular games in the world because of how many people in China play it on their mobile phone. And they're taking that IP and creating a huge action open world RPG. So far from what I've seen, the characters look incredible. The movement looks so fun, and the combat looks awesome, right? So there's a lot to get into there, and I don't know enough. It's, you know, they haven't shown a lot, but from what they have shown, I mean, just watch. I've got the gameplay on here, and it looks incredible, absolutely incredible. Different characters. I don't know if it'll be Genshin Impact style, Grand Blue Fantasy style, like how they're gonna actually have that work out, but everything that I have seen makes it right there in my cup of tea. So unless things change, this is on the list, and I think it's going to be incredible. Now, this one, I'm not sure about 2024. There's not a lot of information out there, so it's hard to know, but it's been cooking for a while. So I'm thinking kind of late 2024 is a pretty good possibility. So keep an eye out on that one. I think Honor of Kings is going to kind of come out of nowhere and really show up something cool. So there you go. I mean, that's so far on my list. I'm sure I missed something. If you got some, you know, banger RPGs or something I missed, make sure you put them in the comments. I don't want to miss them. Already, I don't know how in the world I'm gonna have to find time or money to play all these games, but that's kind of on my radar for next year. I'm sure we'll pick and choose as we go, and you know, that just is what it is. But not to mention any backlog you got from 2023. We eating good, guys. All right. I mean, there's so many good games to play, and I mean, what a time to be a gamer. I think incredible opportunity. So let me know what you're excited for. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We got videos every Thursday. Next Thursday will be my Game of the Year discussion for me, right? And so it's not really a discussion, I guess, but the Game of the Year talk. So I would love to talk about that with you guys. So make sure you have your list ready so you can come in there and talk about that. It's been such a good year. We gotta honor the good games that have come out, and I'm gonna talk about games that I played too. So we'll just have a good time with that one. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. I really enjoy doing this, and I enjoy interacting with you guys. So please comment as much as you want, and let's chat, let's talk, yeah, let's have a good time. All right, again, I'm gonna say it for like the 100th time, but thank you for watching, and good hunting.